In this video, we take a look at Fort McAllister State Park in Georgia. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Camp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Today we're taking a look at the campground at Fort McAllister State Park in Georgia. It's right on the Atlantic Ocean, just south of Savannah. There's an old Civil War fort. This place is amazing. If you want to check out our camping video from that state park, check it out. I'm going to put a link to it right up here. You can check that out. But guys, this place was phenomenal. So with that, let's get right into the campground review. Fort McAllister State Park is located right on the Atlantic coast of Georgia, just south of Savannah. It's easily accessed by Atlanta, Macon, Jacksonville, Charleston, South Carolina, and Augusta. There is a lot to see and do at Fort McAllister State Park. There's an old Civil War fort that is a must-see, and the campground is out on an island amongst a big salt marsh. Very cool state park. So here is the campground for Fort McAllister State Park, and it consists of several campground loops, and it also has some really cool amenities like a boat ramp and a boat dock and a hiking trail. Let's take a look at the restrooms at Fort McAllister State Park. The campground at Fort McAllister State Park has two main restroom facilities. They're both indicated by red arrows, and as you can see, they're on opposite ends of the campground, so you shouldn't have a very far walk no matter where you are camping. Here is the first restroom, and this is a more traditional style Georgia State Park restroom facility with a men's and women's side on each side of the building. This is an inside look at the men's side. Sorry ladies, I don't go into the women's restroom. You are on your own for that, but as you can see, this restroom has some sinks and mirrors. It has a urinal, and then it's equipped with a couple of bathroom stalls. One is a handicap stall, as you can see there. And then as we make our way down, you'll see a couple of shower stalls, and the shower stall we're going to take a look at right here to the left actually has a restroom in it and a shower stall, and it's handicapped equipped, so that's kind of nice. With faucets, both high and low faucets. And then we'll take a look at the final shower here as we make our way into, you can see this is just more of a standard shower stall. So that is a look at the men's restroom. There's also laundry facilities co-located at each restroom with coin-operated washers and dryers. There's also a utility sink available for your use, which is nice, especially if you've got some mud or some stains you got to get out and pre-treat before you do your laundry. The other restroom that is available in this state park campground is the newer style I see popping up at Georgia State Parks. Each individual room is accessible by either men or women, and they typically have a restroom facility and a shower inside. So here's a look inside this restroom, and as you can see, we're looking at the shower right now. They have high and low faucets. Everything in here is handicapped accessible, which is really nice. So there's the faucets, then they have a fold down bench, and as we spin around you see a sink and a mirror and a toilet for your use. There's a really cool bird blind where you can watch birds feeding at bird feeders. Check this out. A very cool and unique feature in this campground is the bird blind where you can watch birds at bird feeders, and it's located where I've shown with the red arrow. So here's what it looks like. So you make your way through the trail and you can stand in this little hut and look through the slats, and you can see all of the birds hitting the bird feeders right here in this open clearing. So it's a very cool place to watch birds and watch nature, and it's right in the middle of the campground. Very cool. Let's take a look at the playground at Fort McAllister State Park. The next feature I want to highlight in this campground is the playground. Now, Georgia State Parks have been renovating their campgrounds recently. So when we were here at Fort McAllister State Park, the playground was in the middle of being constructed. So there's a picnic pavilion there near the playground, and then there's a parking lot area where you can see that truck there. And as I pan by, you can see all of the materials that they're going to use to create the playground. So hopefully by the time you visit Fort McAllister State Park, the playground will be constructed. Also, this area is right next to the boat dock and down by the boat ramp, so you get great views of the coastal rivers that you're surrounded by when you're in this campground. Really awesome place. Here's a look at the boat ramp and dock. We love camping where we can bring our boat, and Fort McAllister State Park is a definite place to bring a boat. It has a fantastic boat ramp and boat dock, and they're indicated by the red arrow. We'll start by taking a look at the boat dock. So this is a floating boat dock. There's some pretty big tide swings here, so the boat dock adjusts to the tide. So as you walk out onto this boat dock, you can see it's a pretty elevated position there, but it has docks on each wing that go up and down with the tide. So another cool thing is that there's a fish cleaning station here. So if you catch your fish, you can clean them there. And it's not too far from the boat ramp, so you can drop your boat in the water, tie your boat up to the boat dock, and load all your gear or unload when you're done for the day. Here's a look at the boat ramp itself. And Fort McAllister State Park also rents canoes and kayaks, so this is where you get them. And so you can see this is a single lane ramp, but there wasn't a whole lot of traffic when we were there. They also have a borrow a life jacket program, so if you have kids or guests who need a life jacket, you can definitely borrow one, which is a cool thing. Always safety first. This campground has a picnic shelter. Check it out. This campground is equipped with a picnic pavilion, and it's located near the boat ramp and boat dock, and it's indicated by the red arrow. So here's a look at the picnic pavilion, and as you can see, it's a pretty standard pavilion. They've got some picnic tables outside the pavilion as well as a very large charcoal grill and a fire pit and a large rock fire ring. And we'll make our way into the picnic pavilion so you can see it. And these are great for if you're camping with a large group and you want to have a cookout or something and you don't want to invade a single campsite. You can go in here. You can see there's water hookup on the outside. So you can go in here and you can see there's lots of picnic tables in here. And it's screened in, which is nice, so that'll kind of help with the bugs. There's also some countertops along the edge, so if you're setting things up buffet style, you can do that. So a nice little picnic pavilion, and there's also a gas grill in there for your use and a sink. Let's take a driving tour of the campground. Okay, we're going to follow the red line and the red arrows to do the first loop in the campground. So we'll start by making our way into the campground. So you come down a long road across a salt marsh till you hit Savage Island, which is the name of the island the campground is on. You're greeted by that little boat there that says Savage Island, and you make your way into the campground. So the first campsite on the left there is a host site. That's site number 1. Site 2 is across the way. Just past site 1 on the left there is where you can buy some firewood. Also, you can buy a parking pass if you have guests. Passing site 3 on the left and 4 on the right. And then now we're passing 5 on the left and 6 on the right. Site 5 is another host site. So passing 8 on the right now. 7 on the left, 9 on the right, 7 is another host site. As you can see, a lot of these sites There's 10 on the left. A lot of these sites are pull-through sites in this section of the campground, which is really nice. And they're nice and big. There's lots of room to pull in or to pitch a tent or a screen house or pretty much anything you can see. As you can see, that large fifth wheel there, toy hauler, is pretty big. And as we make our way around the corner, we're going to pass site 17 on the left. And then we're going to pass site 18 on the left on the corner. If you went off to the right there, that's towards the boat ramp. We're going to take a left right here, and then we're going to pass site 19 on the right and 20 on the left. And all of these are pull-through sites to some degree. Some are back in, but most of them are pull-through. As you can see, it's a little bit tighter in here. These sites aren't quite as big as the other sites. Just past site 24 on the left. If you head to the left there, you'll go past the two ADA campsites and the comfort station. We're going to take that path in a little bit, but we're going to continue on down this lane where we're passing sites 29, 30, 31, all the way down through 38. That was site 34 on the left. 35 on the right. So you can see this is a very pretty campground with lots of trees and some palms, some Spanish moss hanging from the trees. Really, really cool. Okay, so we're going to turn left. This is on the back side of the loop. Off to the right there are the dumpsters where you can get rid of your trash. And then we're approaching the dump station. So there's the dump station there where you can, well, if you have an RV or travel trailer, you know what you do there. And so if we continued on straight, we would head out of the campground, but we're going to take a left and then follow the path again. So we're going to go past all those host sites, and we're going to follow the path in the red arrows. So this campground makes it very easy to get back into the campground. You don't have to leave the campground to get back in. You obviously can just follow that path and come right back around. And while we're doing this, I just wanted to remind everyone that I am going to be producing individual campsite videos for this campground, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. So off to the left there was a sign that said Comfort Station. That is a pathway to the restroom facility for this side of the campground. It also takes you to that bird blind and to the ADA campsites, ADA sites 1 and 2, which we'll pass in a little bit. There was a lot of wildlife in this campground too. Lots of deer, lots of raccoons. We saw lots of things, armadillos. Okay, so we turned left last time. We're going to continue on straight this time. So we're going to pass site 39 to the left there. That's my site. There's Pontuna Fish, my Kodiak canvas tent there, my screen house. And then we are going to pass site 40. Off to the right there is the picnic pavilion, and if you keep going off to the right, the boat ramp is down that way, and the boat dock and the playground and all that stuff. Passing site 41 to the left. And then we're going to pass site 42 to the left, which is right where that travel trailer is parked. Off to the right there, you can see the new style restroom. They also have a lending library for books. That's that little brown box there. And so we're going to turn left to head down this pathway, and we're going to pass sites 43 on the left, 44 on the right, and we're going to go all the way down to site 52. So these sites are a little bit bigger. They're not as close together as the last road we went down. Lots of winding trees. If you have a big rig or a big travel trailer, you're going to want to take it slow through here. There's a lot of trees right next to the road, and it's a little windy. You can definitely get your rigs through here. It's not that tight, but you're going to want to be a little bit careful. And again, just a beautiful campground. Alright, so we were just passing 51 on the left there and 52 on the right. And so now we're going to head out towards the exit road. And as we're traveling on this exit road, I just want to mention a few things. Number one, again, off to the right, there is a ton of wildlife in there. You're going to see deer in there almost every night. At least we did when we were there. Deer walk through the campground all the time. As we're approaching the exit, you'll notice again the dumpsters on the right. That's where you can get rid of your trash. And then just past the dumpsters is the dump station again. And keep in mind, traffic will back up on this road. You can see there's a dirt road on the left there where you can line up so you don't block the exit to the campground if you've got to line up for the dump station. And then just past the dump station is a trailhead for the Magnolia Trail, which is like a 1 mile hiking loop. All right, so we're going to turn left one last time. We're going to go past sites 1 through 18 again, and then we're going to come down through the tent-only section of the campground. So we're going to turn left to go back into the campground on Savage Island. So since we've done this loop before, I'm going to mention a few more things. If you get a site on the right-hand side of the road, these sites are right on the salt marsh, and it is a very, very cool place to just sit and hang out and watch the birds and see different things. Salt marsh is a very, very neat ecological community, and sometimes when the tide is out, it's going to be pretty dry, and then when the tide comes in, it's really wet, obviously, and it's flooded. So really, really cool if you get a campsite on the right side here in this section of the campground. Definitely go check out the salt marsh a couple times a day. Check it out when it's at high tide. Check it out when it's at low tide. It's a really, really neat thing to see. Also, I'll mention while we're traveling through this part of the campground that all the campsites are equipped with a fire pit with grill grate, a picnic table, and a hook to hang a lantern or your other gear. The sites are also equipped with electric hookup, and sites 1 through 18 are full hookup sites with sewer hookups. Okay, we're going to continue on and go straight here. We've just passed sites 1 through 18. Now we're going to pass sites 39 through 42 on the left again. There's Pontoon Fish again, and then of course off to the right again is access to the boat ramp, the picnic pavilion, the boat dock, and then the playground once it's built. There's a lot of deer and wildlife off to the right as well, especially at night. We would see, we'd shine flashlights and see the eyes light up on deer walking through there every night. Passing the new restroom again, and as you can see, there's some parking spaces there. We turned left last time. We're going to continue on straight to go down to the tent-only section of the campground. So if you turn right, that takes you to the boat dock. If you go straight, that just takes you around the outer edge of the campground loop. We're going to go left, where we're going to have tent sites to the left and the right. So we're going to have 53 on the left and 54 on the right. And it's going to go all the way down to site 64. So as you can see with these tent sites, they have a nice tent pad that you can set your tent on, and then you can just park off anywhere you can. There's really no designated parking area, just don't hit a tree pretty much. And then, as you can see, these sites do have electrical. They do have water hookup. I should have said that before. All the sites have water hookup. And they have a hook to hang a lantern or other gear, and they have a picnic table and a fire pit with grill grate, just like all the other sites. These are excellent sites if you are tent camping and don't need a pull-through site or a back-end site for a travel trailer. These are really awesome. And then I have seen pop-ups in here too. So if you have a really small RV, or something like a no boundaries or a pop-up or something, you can definitely use those as well. Okay, so we've passed the tent-only sites, and so we are heading back out towards the campground again. And I forgot we have one more loop to do, because we are going to go down by the ADA site. So there are 2 sites in this campground that are ADA accessible sites. So that's Americans with Disabilities Act. So anybody who is handicapped and has a handicap placard can reserve these sites and use them, and they're right next to one of the comfort stations, and they're really nice sites. So we're going to take a look at those in just a second. So we're passing the dumpsters again on the right. Again, you can see this big lane on the left. That's a great place to pull off if you're waiting in line for the dump station, so you don't block the exit to the campground, because it's a 1-lane road. And we're going to make one last loop into Savage Island and then go past those ADA sites, as I mentioned. So we're going to follow the red path and the red arrows. And then, once we're done, we're going to do the long drive out of the campground, where you can see the road to the salt marsh, and take you all the way to the campground gate. Okay, so here we go. We're going to turn in again one last time. This time I hit a little bit of traffic. Again, off to the left there is where you can buy firewood. Off to the left there in those trees, you can see like a metal roof. That is the comfort station, the restroom facility for this section of the campground. And as you get up to, I believe it's campsite 5 or so, there's the path. Actually, there's the path right there for a comfort station. So it's actually at 7, between campsite 5 and campsite 7. So while we are traveling down this road, I also will mention that you're camping in coastal Georgia, which means bugs are going to be an issue. We camped there over New Year's, so it was January, late December, early January, and we did have an issue with bugs, and specifically the bugs we had an issue with were no-see-ums. No-see-ums are a biting insect that really likes sandy environments. So anytime I'm camping in coastal areas, no-see-ums are an issue. So you're definitely going to want bug spray. Thermocells really aren't all that effective at no-see-ums, so I recommend different types of bug spray. We bring 2 types. We bring Deep Woods Off that has DEET, and then I also bring cutter spray. And I really like the cutter spray for no-see-ums. It seems to work better for me than Deep Woods Off, but you might want to try one night and try one the other night and see which one works for you. They weren't really a problem during the day, just at night. So we've turned left and we're going past sites 19 through 24. And then once we pass site 24, which is right there, we're going to swing left here. And this is a dirt road basically down to the ADA sites and the comfort station or restroom facility. This road is a little narrow, but it is definitely wide enough to get an RV or travel trailer through here. And then, as you can see, it opens up so one site is to the right and one site is to the left, and these are the two ADA sites. So the area around the fire pit is paved, and then off to the left there is the comfort station for this part of the campground. And back behind the restroom is the bird blind that I mentioned before. And as you can see, as we continue down this dirt path, dirt road, we're going to exit the campground right at the dump station. So if you need to get into the dump station from one of the ADA sites, you'll probably have to drive around the loop, unless there's no traffic, and then you can pull onto the road and then back into the dump station if you want. So we've passed the dump station. We're done turning left to head back into the campground, so we're going to head out. Off to the right is the trailhead for the Magnolia Trail, which is about a mile-long trail. And then we hit the road out of Savage Island, across the salt marsh, and to the main campground gate. So as you can see, this is quite a long road. It's paved, so it's pretty smooth. It's just a little coarse gravel, though, so it's not a quiet road by any means. And this road is really cool because it's different every time you drive by it, and there's some observation platforms if you want to ride your bike down here, or some benches and check it out. The salt marsh is always different depending on where it is in the tide cycle. So during this part of the drive, you can definitely see water. So we were at some point near high tide, and then when it's low tide, it can be really dry with exposed mud flats and those kinds of things. So really cool. Lots of wildlife occurs in the salt marsh, so definitely check it out. This road also has some bat boxes along it, so in the evenings you might see some bats flying around. We're going to come up on another one here off to the right. That's what's on those poles, are bat boxes which provide homes for bats. So just a really, really neat part of Georgia to explore, very different than a lot of the things that we see. So as we're exiting the salt marsh, we go up a little bit in elevation, and we're entering back into the other part of Fort McAllister State Park. Off to the left there are some cabins for rent, and then we're going to approach the gate that allows the access to the campground. I'm going to stop the video at the gate, but basically just beyond the gate there is the fort for Fort McAllister, and you do have to pay a separate fee to go see the fort at Fort McAllister, but I highly recommend it. Just a really, really neat piece of American history. So there's also a lot of wildlife in this part of the park as well. You'll see a lot of deer, a lot of armadillos and raccoons and opossums and all kinds of things. So lots of neat stuff to see in this state park. So as we keep driving, off to the right is the fort through those trees. You can't really see it. But as we're approaching the gate, you'll see a building off to the right, and that is the main visitor center to the park, and also where you would start your tour of the fort. And that is a drive around the campground at Fort McAllister State Park. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that review of the campground at Fort McAllister State Park. This place was fantastic. I can't wait to go back. I hope one of these days I can go back, take pontoon fish, and do more fishing, and check out the fort again, and hit Savannah and all the places in coastal Georgia that are just so fun to see. What a great place to stay. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you make plans to camp at Fort McAllister State Park real soon. Guys, Camp Outside exists to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get you and your kids outside. So if you have any questions about Fort McAllister, drop something in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can hit us up on other social media at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, or our website at www.campoutside.com. Guys, I'm going to be posting site videos for each empty campsite I filmed at Fort McAllister State Park real soon. So be sure to check out our Campsites by Camp Outside YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it right up here. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.